All right, we are live with Ease Pain and Stiffness Now class. I'm going to teach you guys how to use some different types of balls to ease your pain and stiffness. And I'm just pulling up my live Facebook feed as well. We're going to put this on Facebook. And I am also on a Zoom call. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Ease Pain and Stiffness. And easing pain and stiffness now. Done. All right, welcome everyone to Ease Pain and Stiffness Now class. So I'm looking forward to teaching you guys some really practical ways that you can ease your pain and stiffness using the all ball. Okay, we're going to use the all ball. We're going to also use a firm ball, whatever firm ball you've got. Yep. And if you don't have your equipment out, then go ahead and grab it. We're going to use a maxi ball or a mini ball made by OPTP. We're going to use a small firm ball, some sort of small firm ball. If you don't have all of these different varieties of balls, then the more you hang out with me, the more balls you're going to collect. You're going to need your own little toy chest, okay? But just use whatever ball you have. Okay, tennis ball works well, racket ball, lacrosse ball, golf ball, all those things will work. But if you have some softer balls, that will be better, okay? Also, if you have a roller, like some sort of a foam roller or a melt roller, and if you have some kind of a pool noodle, so whatever you've got, if you don't have a foam roller, a pool noodle will work, okay? So we're going to do some techniques with the roller as well. I'm going to grab a mat for that. There's a mat for that. Okay. So we'll use the mat just a little bit later. And I've got people joining the Zoom class. Yay. I love having your smiling faces on this class. We have a good time. All right. So welcome, Tulsi. Good to see you on Facebook. All right, so we're going to use a variety of tools, as I was mentioning earlier. So whatever you've got, if you've got a ball, if you've got a roller, if you've got a pool noodle, any of the types of balls that you've got would be great, okay? And we're going to just go through a bunch of stuff. I'm going to grab a chair here, because we can sit in the chair to start with, okay? So we're going to start by doing some techniques using a soft ball, ideally, or any type of ball that you've got, to release connective tissue restrictions and stuck, we like to call it stuck stress. So if you have been stressed, which none of us are, right? Not at all. If you've been in stress lately, then this class is going to resonate for you. Okay, so we're going to start with, go ahead and bring your hands together. And then we're going to drop those hands back and just notice. Ideally, you would get between 70 to 90 degrees here. Then we're going to press our hands in, and we're just going to notice what we feel. Okay, noticing if there's any stiffness or pain. Turn your hands under, noticing what you feel there. Okay. And then just take a nice, easy check on how your neck mobility is doing today. All right, and we're just going to just go easy. We don't need to do it over and over. We're just kind of checking in. Okay. So we're going to start with using some sort of small ball. If you have anything small that you can use. Okay. Little tiny bouncy ball works really well. If you have the melt hand and foot kit, that's the best for these techniques. And I highly recommend getting one. If you don't know what the melt method is, go check it out on my website. You can also check it out online, meltmethod.com. There's a whole bunch of wonderful self-release techniques that you can do, soft tissue release you can do with it. All right, so we're going to use the muscles of our thumb, of our right thumb, as a handle. We're going to do some little circles in the muscles of our left thumb. And all the different techniques that we're doing here, we want to be really gentle. Okay, so it's important that you're gentle with these techniques. Nice and easy. You don't want to have pain. You don't have to be in pain to get out of pain. Just be nice and easy. So what we're doing here is we're just fluffing up our fascia. Think of it as fluffing the fascia. We're not going to blast the fascia. Fluff it. Fluff it and buff it. Okay, then we're going to do some fluffing and buffing in the muscles below the little finger. And for those of you guys who are joining on Ease Pain and Stiffness on my Zoom class, so you can get some individualized coaching on technique and all of that. You can ask questions while the Q&A after. If you want to, you can keep yourself unmuted if your background's not loud. And I'll answer questions as we go through. I know sometimes people have questions.
Are we switching here?
Yeah, no, sorry, I got distracted. We're fluffing and buffing the muscles below the little finger. We're not switching hands yet.
I got distracted too. So.
Okay, all good. All right, now we're going to use the muscles of our thumb on the other hand, and we're going to do a little fluff and buff in the muscles of the thumb on the other side. And a huge part of what might be causing your pain and stiffness literally could be your computer setup. And I know I need to get back to you, Jen, on yours. Thanks for sending that over to me, and I'll get back to you today on that. So that's one thing that I love to do is just take a picture of your work setup, the best job that you knew how to set up your computer for your body to be under the least amount of stress as you're working from home. Okay, now we're going to do some fluffing and buffing with the muscles below the little finger. So do your best job, set it up, have someone take a picture of you, and then send me an email. I'll take a look at it and I'll give you some advice on how well it's set up. Maybe it could be a little bit better. A lot of times pain and stiffness is completely avoidable if your setup is correct. All right, and there's even some videos on my YouTube channel as well on how to do that more effectively. Okay, now we're going to take our little ball. If you have a bigger ball, that's okay. And we're just going to do some circles all around the wrist extensors, the main muscle mass. And again, with this, we're not trying to be painful. We're not trying to really dig in there. We're just fluffing and buffing that fascia so that it can move, so it can slide and glide better. All right, and yeah?
I watched the last one you had on the pain, like your webinar for the...
Oh, low back webinar?
Yeah, so that helps me give some tips too, so I watched that. So I had a question on as a nursing stool, would that be good to put underneath the computer? You mentioned a box or something.
Sure, yeah, anything that just raises the screen so that it's at eye level.
Well, I meant on the feet, with your feet, my feet.
Oh, for it to put under your feet, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you're sitting, you don't want your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. You don't want your ankles at that 90-degree angle because that's going to cut off blood flow, fluid flow, and it's better to have a little bit more open angle. That's what she's talking about. And if you're curious to learn more, go to the YouTube channel. Check out the video. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ball and I'm just going to roll it up and down right above. There's a crease here on the elbow. I'm going to go above and below, above and below. I'm just going to glide that ball. Be gentle. We're not trying to dig in there for pain. Okay. Come down on the front right through here. Be gentle. And when I first started doing self-myofascial release techniques, I came from an athletic background. Now I'm cruising over this way. And so I, came from the school of no pain, no gain. So I thought I had to really dig in there for it to be effective. And then I was really sore from it. And I noticed long term I didn't really get a lot of change in my mobility, but as I backed off on the pressure, I used a lot less pressure in all of my techniques, then I actually found that I got better mobility and actually less pain, less stiffness after workouts, less stiffness after spending a lot of time at the computer. All right, so now we're just going to be doing some circles all around the wrist extensors here on the other side. You might find one side's tighter than the other. Give me a little wiggle of your fingers if one side's tighter than the other, yeah? Give me a thumbs up on Facebook. Ooh, yeah, a little tighter on, or wave, or say something. Talk to me, Facebook people. All right, so we're going to do some little circles on the wrist extensors. And we're just, again, putting pressure on, pressure off, so we can stimulate glycosemic lipids and fibroblasts, pull fluid into that connective tissue matrix so that the layers can slide and glide on each other easier. And why am I talking so much about connective tissue? Because it's so influential. We're going to kind of target the front part of your forearm through here. Also, if you tend to have stiffness in your arms and even in your neck, then doing some cupping to your arms, your shoulders, can really help free up your wrists, your elbows, and your neck. So I don't know if I have that posted on on my YouTube channel yet. I know I did one, so I'll have to post that video. Okay, we're going to move the ball back and forth between 3 and 5. Or, yeah, that's melt. I just wanted to melt. We're going to move the ball back and forth right across your hand. Okay. So in the melt method, we have these position points that we decompress, and we're going to skip that today. But then there's a little technique we do with a different ball where we're gliding across. Okay, but you can use a firm ball, small firm ball, and you can do the same thing. I just want to show you how if all you've got is a little ball, you can do a lot with it. All right. Another thing I like to do is I like to take the ball and roll it just right up and down. We do this on the other side, just right up and down, above the elbow joint and below. There's a stretch of fascia that runs right through there. Okay, now give me a wave or acknowledge someone on Facebook, or you guys over in my Zoom class, my lovely group, give me a wave if you've heard of tennis elbow. Anyone heard of tennis elbow before? Yeah, right? Pretty common, most of us have heard it. And there could be a thing called mouser's elbow. Or maybe, I don't know, something. I'll have to come up with a better way to describe it. But if you're doing a lot of computer work, a lot of mousing, you can develop a lot of stiffness in the same area. So we're going to use a soft ball. You can use a melt ball, or you can use a OPTP mini ball, maxi ball, any ball that you have. And we're going to release our tricep so that we can actually get a release into the fascia of our forearm. You guys are going to see the difference, okay? So we're going to use our soft ball and see if you can find a wall. Now, if you aren't near a wall that's easy to use, then you can actually just do this technique here. It's just way better with the wall. Now, the other option would be, as everybody's like getting up and rearranging everything, let me show you your other option. If you have a chair, and you don't mind kneeling on the floor, or if you have a table, the other option would be that you can do this technique on the chair, which I actually love. I love doing it this way. Okay, so you have some different options. Okay, I'll show you guys on the wall, and I'll also show you on the chair. So let's do our right side first. You're going to put the ball right up high in the tricep muscle. Okay, so we want to target this area right here. There's a lot of trigger points that like to live in here, and then that can cause pain down into your forearm. Also, there's fascia tightness there. Okay, so we're just going to lean against that wall. And what I love about this is that you get a little bit of a workout for your knees, for your little strengthening for your thighs too. Okay, so we're just going to glide along there. Just little baby bends. Common mistake I see people do is they're over here on the side. So you want to be facing straight forward. Yeah, everybody looks good. Okay, we're going to lean back against the wall, bend and straighten the elbow. And in and out. Pause for a breath, let that tissue adapt. Shake your hand a little bit. That helps too. Okay, and then we're going to move the ball a little bit lower. Explore the middle third of your arm. See what you find in there. Anybody have any ropey areas? You guys notice any ropey areas? Yeah, okay. So if you have ropey areas and you do this and they're still a bit ropey the next day, then we're going to bend and straighten the elbow here. So we're tacking the tissue down and just kind of giving it a little stretch. In and out with your arm, pause for breath, let the tissue adapt. So if you notice that, then cupping is going to be your friend. I know for me, I use my hands a lot with work because I'm a manual therapist doing a lot of work hands-on, as well as obviously exercise as well, but we're going to bend and straighten the elbow. So let's switch sides now. And I'm going to show you guys on the chair. So it's the same concept. So we're going to start with the ball in the upper part of your arm. And anyway, so I was saying I had like a lot of ropiness back here. I noticed from the last class that I taught this, and it somewhat got better, but not all the way. Oh my gosh, I did the cupping, and it just felt, it's like night and day. It's like soft, all that ropey stuff's gone. Some of my neck stiffness has been kind of chronic, gone. Like it seemed like every time before I would melt, I would turn my head and it was a little stiff going left, and then after I did the cupping, it's like all back to normal. So that's my plug for cupping. So if you want that link, email me. I will send you the video link. All right, on how to do cupping for your arms. So you guys are up against the wall, but you can also, I just want to show you in case you watch this later, you can also do it in the upper part of your tricep against a table or on a chair. I really like that. It actually feels, it's like, it just is, it feels really even more relaxing to me. And then a little bend and straighten at the elbow. Pause and just breathe. Good, and then you can get the ball into the middle of that tricep and glide. So right in the middle of that arm, gliding. Gliding, gliding, gliding. Bend and straighten your elbow. Pause for breath, let that tissue adapt. Good. Okay, and then we'll move the ball down a little bit lower. Just above your elbow. Gliding here. Is it pinchy in there? Yeah. So yeah, you probably would, it'd be good to cup some cupping there. Then and straighten the elbow, pause for breath. What cupping does is it lifts the tissue layers, stretching them apart. Okay, we're compressing them, we're drawing fluid into them, which is all good. And then vibration can kind of shake them apart. But adding the cupping dimension to releasing your soft tissue sometimes is just like that missing piece. All right, so all three aspects can be important. Next, we're going to release our deltoid up against the wall. I love this. It really helps with neck mobility. All right, so we're going to put the ball right in the middle of your arm. It's going to be right in the middle of your upper arm. Good. Okay. You're going to lean against the wall. And again, just a little. Then straighten up your knees. Some people have said to me, you know, my knees get really sore doing this. Well, if that's you, then just rock your body back and forth. Okay? You can even just kind of like think of making a circle by the way that you shift your body. Like you're painting a circle on your deltoid. Okay? Then we're just going to pause. Then straighten your elbow. Move your arm in and out. Take a nice easy breath. Just let your body adapt to the ball. Then we're just going to roll so that the ball is now in the upper part of your shoulder. So it's going to be in the back of the shoulder on the posterior deltoid muscle. This one really gets a lot of use, and it's nice to give it some love. Anyone else feeling some soreness back there? And stiffness? Yeah, this is connective tissue tight, layers stuck together, all being human. Like just like we brush our teeth to keep them healthy, we need to do things, techniques to loosen up our connective tissue and muscle. Take a nice deep breath. That takes us adapt and soften. Okay, and then we're going to take our ball and we're going to roll it right along below your spine of your scapula. Okay, but you've got your infraspinatus muscle there. So we're just going to roll that ball right along the spine of the scapula. And it's important too, if you're not using a softball, that you go easy, be gentle, don't really dig in there. It should feel like just a little bit kind of maybe slightly uncomfortable. I like to say comfortably uncomfortable. It should feel like a good massage, and it shouldn't, if you're white knuckling it, then you're working too hard and you're actually not helping yourself, because the amount of discomfort you're going to feel, your body's going to be tensing up. If you're white knuckling, your body is tensing up, and it's going to activate more of your fight or flight side of the nervous system, where we want to be staying more in the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. And this is my little plug for doing these techniques and staying in a pain-free range, staying in a range where it just feels good. It feels like a good massage. My plug for that. And I took a little 5-10 minute break, and I did some melt moves. So I used the melt roller, I did some different melt moves, and just calmed right down. Felt great. Okay, pause again for a nice easy breath. Good. All right, we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the deltoid on this side.
I have a question.
Yes, I love questions.
What's the difference between this one and the one that you
Oh, the posterior delt? You might have been, so posterior delt is going to be right, kind of basically where my shirt is, on the back of your shoulder. That would have been a good way for me to explain it. and then tricep is where there isn't a shirt. Okay, so it's like from my elbow to my shirt. Yeah, so we did tricep, and then we did lateral deltoid, and then we did posterior deltoid, and then we did infraspinatus, which is going to be below the spine of your scapula. So it's going to be below that. You can feel a little bit of a ridge on your scapula, which is your shoulder blade, also called the chicken wing, according to one of my patients. So
under that.
Yeah, right under that. Yep. Yeah. All right, so we're on the deltoid, right? So we're going to bend and straighten the elbow, move the arm in and out, pause for a breath. Okay, and then we're going to have the ball at the back of the shoulder on that posterior deltoid, and right up and down, side to side. Pause for breath, letting that tissue adapt. Good. Okay, and then we're going to move along that infraspinatus. So right along that, just below that bone. I love how this feels. So good. It's so good. Okay, we're just going to pause here, taking a nice deep breath, letting that tissue adapt. Move your arm a bit, different ways. Tug on that tissue to help it free up. And then we're going to release, one of my personal favorites is releasing levator scapulae. So if you reach back, basically you can reach back and your hand is going to be right about where mine is here. You can feel the edge of your shoulder blade. You feel the inside edge.
Can you walk forward a little bit?
Yes. Can you guys see now?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you guys feel that bony little area? It's like a corner of your shoulder blade there. Okay, some of you might have some little lumps in there. Little villages of gummy bears that have taken up residence. So we are going to evict them with this ball. All right, so we're just going to glide right on that area. And for this one, you kind of have to have your feet out away from the wall a bit. And lean back. And I think of painting around it. So I go across the fibers of the muscle. And if you do that, you might feel some kind of releasing happening in your head. Okay, and then we're going to glide up and down just above that shoulder blade. We're going to glide up and down right next to it. We're going to reach our arm across, tug on that tissue. A little 80s dance move. All right, and then we're going to turn our head toward the ball. All of that helps it to release, so just lean into it and breathe and just think of letting down. So good. All right, then we're going to move over to the other side. And I was able to do it kind of without grabbing it to a degree. So again, placing the same place, gliding along that corner of that shoulder blade. And be gentle, and trust me, if you use a soft ball for this, like an OPTP maxi ball or a mini ball or a melt ball, this is going to be so much more enjoyable, and you're going to get so much more out of it as far as releasing your soft tissue than if you use a firm ball. It's going to be night and day, night and day. Okay, bring our arm, a little bit more gliding. Juice up that tissue. And if this is a chronic hot spot for you, pause and breathe. A couple of things can help. One, you can do vibration to your legs. Get like a little vibrating ball or roller, and as long as you don't have any metal in your legs or anything implanted you didn't come with, it entered the earth. As long as that's the case, you can do some different vibration techniques, and we have on our Health Connect page some advice on how to do that, videos on how to do that. Now we're going to let the ball glide right between your shoulder blade and your spine. Shoulder blade, right between the shoulder blade and the spine. I love this one. The cool thing about this too is if you have a small child, you could do these techniques while you hold your child. Possibly, if it works, it's a possibility. You can do these techniques while you're on the phone. It's nice if you have the time to be really mindful with it. Okay, so dial in spots that especially noticeably stiff or sore, and just kind of move up and down right in that spot. Okay, and then we're just going to pause, leaning into the wall, leaning into the ball, taking a nice deep breath, and reach across. Reach up. Okay. Move the ball down even a little bit lower. Keep it everywhere where there's ribs. One of the things that I did and I like to do is that I got 2 of these OPTP maxi balls, and I taped them together with duct tape, and then I put a sock around them and tied it really tight. And you can put it on either side of your spine, and these balls are so great. It's like a massage. It's the best. It's my favorite little self-care tool. So you can get both sides at once this way. And there's all kinds of peanuts that have been made. Different people have made ones, but they're not soft. Not soft like this. Doesn't this feel like a massage? Feels like somebody's just like
Yeah.
just taking their thumbs and just working up and down your spine. We're going to do a little wiggle back and forth right against that muscle, going across the fibers of the muscle. And then just pause for breath in one spot. Take a nice easy breath. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're going to start kind of higher up between the shoulder blade and the spine. And we're going to glide here. Feels so good. So we're just exploring the tissue first, noticing for areas of stiffness, soreness. Okay, and then we find a spot, then you can go back and forth on it a little bit, up and down on it a little bit. You can move your arm around, hug against that tissue to help pull fluid into the tissue so it can fluff up. Okay, and then move forward, let the ball roll down a little lower. We're going to glide lower. Exploring that whole area where they're gripped. So we're exploring the area between the shoulder blade and the spine, all along wherever you've got a rib cage. And if you find an area that feels sore or stiff, then just go up and down, side to side on it. Pause, take a nice easy breath. Move your arm around. All of that. Wiggle your body back and forth. All of those things help free up that tissue. And you can get all around the edge of your shoulder blade too. That really helps free it up. Pausing for a nice easy breath. Good. All right, now we're going to use our ball on our chest. Free up the fascia there. Okay, so we're going to do some circles all along that chest muscle. And we're going to paint the chest muscle. So it's going to go right across the collarbone, just below the collarbone, across the tissue below the collarbone, and we're just going to paint all the way through like this. Okay, and then if you take your 4 fingers and you rest them below your collarbone, right here where the little pinky was, that's about where you're going to find your pectoralis minor. So we're going to dig in on that a little bit gently. So when I say dig, I don't mean attack. All right, so what I mean is the people in my Zoom class, my Zoom crew, you guys understand, you know. We're just going to go up and down, side to side, nice and easy.
And sore.
Yeah, and we're just going to first start with just kind of juicing it up a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to press firmly into the tissue, but we're not forcing anything. We're just going to breathe and let that ball kind of sink in. And then we're going to move our arm here. Okay, we're going to do some little circles here. So if you're just joining, we're using a soft ball if you've got one, like a melt ball or a maxi ball or a 2P maxi mini ball. So you can use any of those balls, but any ball that you have will work. Just keep in mind the principles of being gentle. Don't force anything. Shouldn't be painful if you feel like pressure, not pain. It can feel like a little bit like a massage, kind of like a comfortably uncomfortable pressure, but it definitely shouldn't feel like pain. And if you find that you're white knuckling it or holding your breath or gritting your teeth to get through it, that's too intense. You want to back off, back way off. Okay. Soft, using something soft is going to be much more effective because your tissue can absorb it. Your tissue can accept the pressure without having to try to protect you from it. And it keeps you in the parasympathetic side of your nervous system, which is our rest state, the outside of your nervous system. It's going to put you more in a state of healing is going to actually allow more of your muscles to relax in general. All right, so we're going to just paint that tissue now. We're going below the collarbone. Okay, and we're coming down onto that pec muscle. I'm going up and down on it. Anyone else have a little ropey thing in there? I've been doing push-ups. I feel it. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it can get ropey from being bent over your computer, or it can get ropey from working out. I've been doing a lot of push-ups in the reboot class, for reboot level 2, so I've got some little muscle stiffness from that. All right, so now we're going to just find our pectoralis minor, so do your 4 fingers from the collarbone. Put the ball just below the little pinky finger, and we're just going to go up and down side to side on that. The pectoralis minor, it's kind of shaped like this, comes down, attaches here, and when it's tight, what it does is it pulls your shoulder forward, and then that creates less space for the muscles that come up underneath. You have a little bone arch here. The muscles that come up underneath there, it creates less space. If you've heard of impingement syndrome in your shoulder, well, then that's what I'm talking about here. And so by freeing this up, that's part of what can free that up. So we're just going to, again, just lightly press here and just breathe. Let that tissue adapt. You can have different things causing pain. You might have trigger points causing pain. You might have tightness in your fascia causing pain. And oftentimes, trigger points and tightness in the fascia are coming because it happens because of weakness. There's a weakness somewhere that needs to get stronger so that your body isn't having to compensate by tightening the fascia to hold you, or the muscles getting tired and creating trigger points. So if you're finding that you're chronically getting pain or tightness in the same spot all the time, then you probably have a muscle weakness issue, and that would be a good thing to attend one of our classes. Entry level fitness is reboot level 1. Reboot level 2 would be more advanced fitness. All right. So I switched to a smaller ball. I was using the maxi ball. So if you were always using a mini ball or a melt ball, you can stick with it. But we're going to target the area where your sternocleidomastoid mastoid muscle comes down and attaches down right by your collarbone. Okay. So where your collarbone comes together, there's like a little space here. So we're just going to do some little circles all around that space on the left side. So just kind of basically doing circles all around the collarbone on that left side that ends on your sternum, your breastbone, for it. If you find a tender spot, then just pause and let the ball sink into that spot. Okay. And then you can turn your head here. Okay, and again, just breathe and let it soften. All right, I'll do the same thing over here. You can use your fingers for this, but I like to use the ball because then it takes your hands out of it. Your hands get just relaxed. Both your hands are getting lots and lots of fluffing and buffing on their back to help loosen up that connective tissue. They can be much happier. The wrists are going to be much happier. Before I started doing the melt method and before I started doing these kinds of soft tissue techniques that I'm teaching today, this stuff isn't melt. This is just soft tissue release stuff using a soft ball or other types of balls. But I do a whole class that is melt method. So my Monday night class is like pure melt method. And then we have some other classes as well during the week where we throw a lot of melt method in. All right, we're going to just pause on the spot. Melt method is just a transformative technique using a soft roller, soft balls. Totally changed my life. I used to have to get massages like every week to do the kind of stuff that I was doing, activities. Now I don't have to. We're going to talk and breathe. Head. Okay, good. All right, and then we're just going to take our ball, a soft ball, whatever ball you have, and we're just going to do some circles on the back of the head where your sternocleidomastoid mastoid attaches. Okay, so it passes all through here, all along the back of the head. Up, even up into here is we have fascia, it's all connected. Okay, and we're being gentle with it, side to side, up and down, circle, nothing forceful. Get in right next to the ear. Come down below the ear, like right in this area. Right through here. You guys see that?
Now I can.
You can? Yeah, so
Yeah,
all like right through here. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Circle, side to side. So if your sternocleidooccipital mastoid muscles have trigger points in them, and we're going to check for that in a minute, like right in the main muscle belly, then that could be because you have an imbalance in the stabilizers of your neck. And there are techniques to help to get that balance back. And we teach that in our group exercise classes, and then you may need some physical therapy to help you as well to get that balance back. But right now we're just going to check and see if there's any trigger points or any areas of fascia that have gotten tight in your sternocleidooccipital mastoid muscle. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to position your fingers right along that muscle. And you're just going to gently pinch as you glide down. You can kind of grip it, it's kind of like got a little mass there. Okay. And then what I like to do, so I turned my head so it would be easy to feel, right? But now just kind of center it, center your head. And we're just going to gently grip that tissue, just grab, and do a little squeeze, and then move away, move down lower. Anybody have any areas that are especially tight or sore?
Some that are sore.
Yeah.
That whole area.
The whole thing. The whole thing. Okay. So.
Eating up my body though.
All right, so then just pick a spot to gently massage it. Okay, so kind of hard to show, but I'm gripping it and I'm just gently massaging it. Is that making sense to you guys while I'm doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then we're just going to hold with a little light pinch. Now you have blood flow that runs right through here, okay? So we don't want to like just grab it and squeeze super hard. But we're just going to lightly pinch and just kind of hold it there, maybe in an area that feels sore or stiff. Okay, and take a nice easy breath, let that tissue adapt. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're just going to do some nice, gentle massage all the way down that muscle.
That's really tighter than the other side.
Really? You got one side that's tighter than the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's common. And even if you don't have a ball, you can do these techniques with your hand. You can do some little circles here, with the idea being just be gentle. Circles up and down, side to side. Okay, do the same thing on this side. So we're just, you know, what we're doing here with all these techniques to our sternocleidooccipital mastoid muscle is we're being kind to the victim, okay? We're being kind to the, actually more like the hero, because the sternocleidooccipital mastoid is the one that's been kicking on to do a whole bunch of other muscles' jobs that aren't doing their jobs. So we're being kind to the hero. We're giving it a little bit of some love, but we really need to address the underlying cause, which is the proper stability and strength of your neck and your shoulders. So, you know, we do some stuff to help with stability and strength of the shoulders and the neck in our Reboot Level 1 class, more so than in the Reboot Level 2. All right, so again, kind of pinch gently as you come down, and if you find a spot that's especially sore or stiff, then just kind of hold that pinch here for a few moments and a breathe, soften. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you on Facebook. Glad you're watching. Let me pick something up here. Okay, and I like to take and and just knead the tissue between my fingers gently as well. And the idea with all of these techniques is we're not blasting through the tissue, we're just pinching into the barrier gently, waiting at the barrier for it to soften, feel and follow, pick up the slack, and just let your body let you in as it's ready. Never forcing anything. Okay? We're gonna do some little circles below our ear. Okay, so I'm doing little circles like right here below the ear. Just kind of freeing up that fascia as well. Good. A little up and down, side to side. One of my personal favorite, I'm going to teach you a couple of my personal favorite self-care techniques for the neck and for the head as far as preventing headaches and things, because now my body's calling for it. We just freed up this fascia. So I'm going to take and hook my fingers in my ear. Okay, so I'm holding on, I'll show you where, holding on right here. Okay, right here. You guys see where I'm holding on? I'm not inside the ear. I'm kind of on that lobe.
Come down a little bit.
Okay, so my finger's here. Okay? So it's just above where your earring would be, right? And you're kind of holding on to the cartilage part of the ear there, okay? And I'm just going to lightly and gently pull down and out. Just gently and lightly pulling down and out.
Out meaning forward towards your face.
Out meaning out this way.
No.
Yeah. Okay, and we're going to hang out here for about a minute. And we're just going to gently and lightly pull down and out. Nice and easy. So this helps to free up the upper cervical area of your neck. So it helps to free up where your bones of your neck attach to your head, your skull. And there's a ton of fascia all around that. It just helps free that up. This will help you be able to turn your head to look over your shoulder in traffic. It also just feels really good. Your neck's going to feel more loose. Okay, so we're just gently pulling down and out. And you'll feel that maybe one of your ears is easier to move faster than the other, and that's all right. You might feel all kinds of pulling in different areas. That's fine too. We're coming up on a minute. So, learn with these techniques, we're never blasting through. We're going easy. We're just going right up to the barrier, wait, feel and follow as it releases, okay? The next one, another one of my favorites, is we'll grab a fistful of hair on the side of your head, okay? And just gently pull. Just gently pull. And what this does is it lifts the fascia between your skull, your bone of your head, and the fascia that covers it. Because that can get like moved down, especially for people that deal with headaches and neck pain. And this actually can be really, really, it can feel really good. And sometimes, like if you're at a desk, you can do this. And then that way you get to rest your head in your hands. If you're sitting, if you wanted to, you could do it this way. I'm getting like you're going to have the Anderson view after this. No extra charge. All right, so you can just do it like this if you want. Let your head rest in your hands. And we're not being forceful with any of this. We're being gentle, being kind to our body. Okay, so be kind to your body. Think of this as a restorative time. Just focus on your breath. Just taking a nice, easy breath. Breathing in. Noticing your body expand. Breathing out. Noticing your body soften. With your shoulders, just let go, letting go any stress that's there, any stuck stress and tension that's been holding on. Okay? You can also hold more on the crown of your head, and I usually use one hand for that. And I usually like to do that laying down. So you can just grab a fistful of hair more on the crown and pull. And you'll feel, if you're really in tune with your body, you'll feel that release through the spine. Like you'll feel that release happening all the way through down into your tailbone area, maybe even, or your lower back. You might feel a pull all the way into it. If you're not super body aware yet, that's okay. You may not notice that yet. That's all right. All right. Now I like to use one of these softballs. You guys in my class, you guys all have one of these guys. And I like to just do some circles all around my cheek and jaw. And people who, we have a whole melt method sequence for releasing the jaw that's amazing. If you're interested in that, except for the Zoom class for Monday night, I'm going to teach it on Monday night this coming week. We're going to do some circles all around our cheek and jaw with the soft yellow ball. So you want a real squishy soft ball. So I have people that come to me with jaw pain, TMJ, which is now called TMD, and we get a long way with them just doing these kinds of techniques, using a soft ball and some of the different techniques that I'm teaching here with you. All right. So now let's do some things with your ball and your roller on the mat. Okay, so we're going to get out the mat. If you've got one, you don't have to have a mat, but I'm going to lower this so you guys can see the mat.
It's better to do that ball than the mouse ball?
No, not at all. It's just different. It's just different. Yeah, that's a good question. So Jen was asking about, because we have a set of things that we do with melt, where we have a specific sequence that we do to release the jaw with the melt method. And like I said, I'm going to teach that in my Zoom class on Monday night. So if you're interested, then go to my website, sign up for that. All right. So we're going to transition to doing some things on the mat. So I'm going to have you guys lay on your back, arms at your sides, palms up, legs outstretched. And we're going to do some 4x4 breathing here. But first, I just want you to take a moment to notice what you feel. So we're going to scan from our head to our toes. And just give yourself permission to notice what you feel as you lay here. Oftentimes, we are so busy, and it's so good for us to take a moment just to be aware. Just be aware of what you feel in your body without judgment, just noticing it. Just that awareness can be feeling in itself. Just scanning from head to toes, noticing which parts of your body are touching the ground, which parts are not. It's normal to have a little space for your neck, a little space for your lower back, space for your knees, a space for your ankles. If you have a really big space in your back, that means that you have accumulated connective tissue tightness in the diaphragm. So give me a wave if you're noticing that. People in my class, if you're noticing you've got some tightness in the diaphragm area, you've got a big back curve. Okay, anyone noticing feeling heavier on one side? Okay, that means there's a nervous system imbalance going on. Okay. Anyone have some tailbone contact, really obvious tailbone contact? Okay, so if you're noticing that, that means that there's connective tissue tightness in your hips. We're going to release that with a little move here. So if you have a roller, some sort of roller, we're going to get our hips up on that roller. Okay, and I'm using a melt method roller, but you can use any roller for this. Okay, And we're going to just bring our legs back. This is not a melt move. And we're going to let our legs move back toward our chest, okay? So it's kind of like a modified happy baby. You'll feel a little stretch in your lower back. If this is too intense for you, then you can do it with your hips on the ground and just pull your knees back. If you're having any pain in your back, then we don't want to push through that pain. This should feel good. Okay, and one of the things I like to do here is I'll stretch out, like I'm going to stretch out my left leg and let my body kind of roll toward the left and just feel the pressure of the roller moving onto the glute muscles there on the left side. Okay, yep, and then I'm going to switch. Stretch out my right leg, roll, let my body roll to the right. Just let that roller glide onto those tissues. Good, and then we're going to switch again. Rolling over to the right. Okay, and then switch. Rolling over to the left. Get just a little stretch. You don't have to hold on to your legs at all. I've just got my hands on my belly. Good. Okay. We're going to have our hips up on this roller. And we're going to just work on tucking our pelvis under so that your back flattens toward the ground and your rib cage is going to be heavy toward the ground. Feel the heaviness of your rib cage on the ground right now. Okay, and we want to maintain total rib contact if possible. And you're just going to do just a small little untuck. Okay, we're just going to go back and forth with a little bit of pelvic movement, keeping the rib cage in contact with the ground. So it's a real small movement. It should be pain-free, and the roller should be under your hips, not your lower back. So Julie, I think that roller needs to move a little bit more this way. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And if you notice that you're squeezing your butt to move the roller or pushing with your legs, then let that go and use your deep core to do it. Okay. All right, let's just do a quick experiment. We're going to move the roller off to the side. We're going to lay flat. And we're just going to notice what changed just with that. So anybody notice that you have more rib cage contact with the ground right now? Yeah, good. Anyone noticing that you have fluffier butt cheeks? You don't have as, you're not noticing that tailbone contact as much? You guys noticing that? Even if it's just an improvement, that's good. Okay, now we're going to do some deep breathing while we release the psoas and the chest. This one is awesome for your back. You guys are going to love this sequence. Okay, so you're going to use your melt roller, ideally, or any soft roller that you've got. If you have to, use a foam roller. We're going to use our all ball. So you want a squishy ball for this. You're going to find your belly button, put the ball right next to your belly button on the left side. Okay, and you're going to lay on the floor, and you're going to rest your chest on the roller, so it's just below your collarbone. And you're going to rest your right hand at your side, palm down. So I'll show from this angle so you guys can see. Okay, so I've got the roller just below my collarbone. Okay, and my palm is down on the right side. Guys, and so I'll show from this angle as well. So, yeah, good, Jen. Okay, so you're going to have your right hand at your side, palm down. Okay, and then you can just rest your head on the ground. And if this bothers your neck, you can rest your forehead on your fist. Okay, that's another option. And we're just going to take some easy breaths. So the U.S. Navy SEALs use something called 4x4 breathing. They breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. So I'm going to ask you to do the same thing here. And this is just going to help open up your shoulder. So Julie, make sure your palm is at your side. Your right palm at your side. There you go. Okay. So breathing in at your own pace for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and breathe out. And you'll notice as you breathe out, your body softening over that roller, softening over that ball. So breathing in for this nice 4 seconds. Okay, and then I'm also going to ask you to shrug your right shoulder up and down. And you can continue to do this 4x4 breathing as we go through this sequence, okay? That's one of the beauties of it. You don't have to do it laying down. You can literally be in a firefight doing 4x4 breathing to keep your nervous system calm. So you could be in your most stressed situation of your life doing this breathing to help keep the nervous system calm. So what we're doing is we're just trying to regulate your nervous system here. We're going to move our hand out onto the roller. Yep. Okay, and we're going to rock the roller forward and back. Okay, your forehead is on the ground or on your fist. Or you can turn, if you want another good way to help the neck out is you can rest, like I have my right hand out on the roller, so I'm going to rest my cheek against my left hand like this. Okay. Good. You're going to move the roller up. We're going to take a breath here. Normally we would do 3, but I'm running out of time. So we're just going to do 1 breath here. And rock. Yep, like this. You move the roller. Yeah, good, Jen. There you go. Beautiful. All right. And then we're going to switch sides. So you want the roller right below your collarbone on the left. You're going to take the ball, put it on the right side, just next to your belly button. Okay? And we're going to rest your forehead on the back of your hand or on your fist, or your right cheek is going to go against the back of your hand. Good. Palm down on the left side. This one is awesome for releasing your back, your shoulders, your neck. It's like a 3 for 3 for the price of the time to do 1 release. Okay. And we're again going to just practice our 4x4 breathing. Breathing in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. We're going to shrug our shoulder up and down. Just noticing how your body expands as you breathe in, how it softens as you exhale. Okay. Then you're going to shrug your shoulder up and down. So just keep your hand at your side, but shrug that right shoulder up and down. Good. Then put your hand out on the roller. And you're going to take 3 full breaths here. Just easy breaths. Just easy breaths. They don't have to be 4x4 breaths. Just easy breaths. Good. And move the roller up 45 degrees. Same thing here. I'm just going to do a couple of breaths here. Good. Now that we've done both sides of the psoas, we're going to keep the ball where it's at, but take the roller out. And you're going to have your elbows right under your shoulders like this. Okay? So we want elbows right under the shoulders. And you're going to bring your head down and up. And the idea here is we're extending your neck, extending your upper back, and you're just coming up to the point where you feel a stretch in the front, tugging against the ball, but it should not be painful, okay? And the idea is to imagine that each segment of your spine is arching. It's like shortening one segment at a time. And we're not forcing it, and there should be no pain in your back. If you have any pain in your back, don't go as high. Okay? Good, we're going to switch, put the ball on the left side. Or whatever side you didn't do yet. Let's do 5 of these. And again, you're just going to the point where it should feel like a tug against the ball in the front, but not be painful. Okay, so you're in charge of how much you extend your spine there. Okay, and then sometimes people really like to do a stretch like this afterward. So my knees are wide. Okay, my knees are wide and I'm coming down like this. It's a nice lower back stretch. Good. Taking a few breaths there. As long as your knees can tolerate it. Some people might not be able to tolerate this. That's okay. You can do a modification of it. So one modification, if your back can tolerate it, is you can bend down this way. Just let your head hang down, let your arms hang down. And then walk your hands back up. That's another option. But for most people, for just about everyone, almost everyone, this is okay. So you can hang out here for about a minute and do this, okay? All right, now let's lay flat. We'll go back to that stretch. You can do it on your own later. And let's just notice what you feel. When you scan from head to toe. Just notice if overall you just feel a sense of ease. Anyone noticing that? Just feels easier to be inside your body? Yeah, even if it's just a little bit. Good. And then we're going to sit up and turn our head, noticing what you feel there. Anyone else getting an improvement in your neck mobility? Yeah? Good. And then we're going to check out our wrist mobility like we did at the beginning and see if that got better. I used to have very stiff wrists from doing lots of body work, lots of massage. Now my wrists are great. I can do anything I want with the wrists. They're not sore ever. But I do a lot of melt, and I do a lot of techniques like this with the balls, and I spend probably now just as maintenance. I'll do 5 minutes of melt per day, and this was a class where we did maybe 1 or 2 melt moves. We really didn't do much melt. We did a whole bunch of other hands-off body work, hands using softballs, soft rollers, that kind of stuff. But 5 minutes a day can make a big difference of doing either melt techniques or doing soft ball, soft roller stuff. You can also, if you will take the time like you guys have done, to spend 45 minutes to an hour once a week at least doing the body work using the roller and the soft balls in a class setting where we go through the whole body and do different techniques, then that's going to make a big difference. And you'll have aha moments in this class. You'll have moments where you realize, oh my gosh, I had no idea that releasing my hips would help my neck so much. What? That's mind-blowing. Or releasing my feet helped my back. Whoa, that's crazy. But it's totally true. So we did a lot for the upper body today, and tomorrow I'm going to focus more on lower body. So if you want to learn more about how to release the lower body using soft balls, soft rollers, all that kind of stuff, come on Saturday. And every class is different. My Zoom crew knows. Every single mult class is different. And I always throw new stuff in there and different stuff in there. So don't think you've seen it all if you've just seen a couple of these, because you definitely haven't. And if you have questions or you'd like some coaching or feedback on how you're doing with the techniques, then join the Zoom class. So I'm going to wrap up with my Zoom crew, answer any of the questions they might have. And the other thing about the Zoom class is it just gives you some accountability as well, if that's something that you know that you need. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and hopefully see you tomorrow at noon Pacific time. Bye. All right.